Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, dear Tamaraos. Welcome to the Far Eastern University Career and Placement Office Pre-Employment Preparation Talk or PEP Talk webinar series for the second semester of school year 2021 to 2022. This is Ron Gascon, the coordinator of the FEU Career and Placement Office or CAPO, and I'm your MC and moderator for this afternoon's webinar. PEP Talk is a regular virtual series designed to prepare the students for employment by equipping them with the necessary knowledge through talks, focusing on various topics delivered by industry professionals and experts. And on your screens now, you can see our previous PEP Talk webinars conducted from previous semesters up to the present. You may rewatch them at your most convenient time at the Career and Placement Office official Facebook page and at the FEU YouTube channel. Today's webinar is also being live streamed via the Microsoft Teams and both the FEU and CAPO's official Facebook pages. To participate in our question and answer segment, you may submit your comments and questions anytime by posting at our conversation page. For viewers watching through the FEU Facebook live streaming, we encourage you to engage with us by posting your questions or reactions on the comment section as well. We really anticipate your participation as we progress in our webinar. How can effective time management be instrumental to a successful career? In line with the Far Eastern University's 94th Foundation Week celebration, CAPO presents its pre-employment preparation talk webinar titled TAMStamp, Time Management as an Essential Skill for Career Success. This episode is brought to you virtually in cooperation with our digital media partner, the Marketing and Communication Office. And stay tuned as we discover and learn more about how we can effectively develop time management skills, especially in this time of pandemic, from our PEP Talk resource speaker for today. Just a reminder, please make sure that your microphones are always on mute to avoid causing any unnecessary interruptions. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Let us maximize our time by learning from today's webinar. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the opening remarks and introduction of our resource speaker, may I call on the Director of the Career and Placement Office, Ms. Maria Carmencita Babes Suva Alfonso. Hi, Ma'am Babes. Good afternoon. The screen is yours.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Sir Ron. Let me start by thanking all of you for being here today. It has been 2 years since the pandemic struck and disrupted many of our usual physical activities, including on-site events. A lot has changed since then, especially in the academe. But despite the looming threats of the pandemic, we have continuously shown resilience and innovation. We have shifted to virtual transactions to ensure that our services will not be totally disrupted. True to our commitment to assist the students in preparation for the real world, we recalibrated and redesigned some of our activities to consistently provide learning and training opportunities, even in the most challenging times. We are grateful to have supportive people behind us all, our industry partners, our bosses, colleagues, stakeholders, and most especially you, our dear students. The FEU Career and Placement Office, or CAPO, has successfully run a series of webinars to orient our students to the basics of working, finding a job, essential know-how on entrepreneurship, gaining higher studies in pursuit of career goals amidst the new normal. We have also successfully rolled out online activities designed to help prepare our internship and graduating students for the new world of work. Some of which include online mock interview with coaching, online recruitment exclusive for Tamaraos, the FEU's virtual job fair, student exposure to partner organizations or Expo, and Young Leaders Educational Dialogue or ULEAD for our leadership training for students. Now, let me show you a short video of CAPO programs and activities. For this semester's schedule of activities, please check out our event posters and calendar. We shall be posting this in the official FEU social media sites and Canvas. At CAPO, we believe in a holistic approach in our students' career development. Thus, we continue doing our best to offer meaningful activities and programs to help prepare and guide them in their life design, whether they want to have a successful career, build their own empire, or become a freelance professional to thrive in the new normal. For today's episode titled TAMStamp, Time Management as an Essential Skill for Career Success, we will learn more about the need and urgency to develop our time management skills that will eventually affect the level of success that we achieve both in school and in the workplace. This PEP Talk topic today is very relevant as we continue to adjust and thrive in this new normal way of doing things, not only in school, but in the long term, the world of work as well. Sessions like this will not only provide you with academic perspectives, but real life lessons that each one of you can replicate in your professional endeavors. On that note, I would like to end with my usual reminder. While it is not going to be easy to sort out the challenges in the situation that we are in, always remember our mantra, be brave. For Tamaraos have always been resilient to whatever comes our way. Always remember that. Thank you very much. And now, without further ado, allow me to introduce our resource speaker. She holds an AB Economics degree from St. Paul College in Quezon City and has been working as a learning specialist for 9 years in Sitel Philippines, a company regarded as one of the leaders in the industry across 28 countries and currently part of the top 40 BPO corporations in the Philippines. Sitel Group is included in the top 1,000 corporation listing in the Philippines. She had conducted trainings in Sitel Academy for those who needed to improve on their communication skills and help them pass their job interviews. For her, it's a very fulfilling job because she makes a big difference in people's lives by helping them get a job. I'm sorry, excuse me for that. Currently, she is handling Sitel's University and Community Partnership for NCR. She reaches out to schools, universities, LGUs, and NGOs for them to offer Sitel's training and services for free that will help people get hired. This can be attested by her active participation in our online mock interview with coaching as our regular resident coach. Ladies and gentlemen, on your screen, Senior Learning Specialist of Sitel Philippines, Miss Eliane Therese Lansigan. Miss May, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. The virtual floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Babe. So, hello, good afternoon, Tamarao. So, I am again, I'm really so happy to be part of this celebration of FEU for your 94th year founding anniversary. So, it's really a big privilege on our part to be invited to be part of this big event. So, good afternoon, everybody. Magandang hapon. And I feel very comfortable in the home of FEU, so I didn't have to think twice in accepting this invite uh, when I was given the email to talk this afternoon. So this afternoon we will be talking about something that is very relevant to not only to you students but I guess to everybody. So just like what Mom Babe said, it's all about, and Sir Ron said, it's all about time management. All right. So, Nico, can you please? Okay, there you go. So this is the. I'm very excited about this because why? Because I can relate to a lot of the tips that I will be sharing with you. Next, please. All right. So, what are the objectives? So, what are we going to learn this afternoon? So, time is our most valuable resource, even more valuable than money. Why? Because you can get money, but you cannot get more time. So just like sometimes I would hear friends would say, if only I can buy time, but we cannot. So we can manage everything else only once we are able to manage our time. And this is a fact that everyone has exactly 24, only 24 hours in a day to prove ourselves and achieve what we have that for the day. So for today, we hope to impart to you practical tips in managing your time to create a pursuable path for your success. All right, so next, please. Okay, so as you can see on our slide, it's just I cannot interact with you, but I'm sure that you guys have heard of SMART goals. Okay, so as you can see, the letters SMART, it has like a period, so it's an acronym. So so when you say SMART, um, when we talk about SMART goals, uh, have you, I don't know if you have already set your SMART goals lately. So let's try to recall what SMART stands for. Okay. So, so for the first letter, S, Nico, please. All right. So when we say, so S stands for SMART, for specific. So the goal should be clear and specific. Otherwise, you won't be able to focus on your efforts or feel truly motivated to achieve it. So when you set a goal, make sure that you give a specific goal. Next. M stands for measurable. It is important to have measurable goals so that you can track your progress and stay motivated. Why? Because if you are would be able to measure your goals and you feel excited about it, I'm sure you would be able to sustain the motivation in finishing your goal. Next, please. Next is A stands for attainable. And then, so when you say attainable, it means it can be reached, okay? And in relation to the goal to become attainable, next, please. There, it should be really realistic. It's because why? It should stretch your abilities but still remain possible. It's because for if you would be now if you would be setting your goals and it's you think that it won't be attainable or it's not even realistic, it means you might be setting yourself up for failure, and that is not good, right? Because it can demotivate you and you would end up frustrated. And then lastly, next please, time bound. So it's synonymous to have to the word deadlines. So every goal needs a target date. So by having a deadline, you would be able to focus on something and you would be able to know what direction you're going forward to. All right. So SMART goals are a great way to add structure to both your personal and professional career time management strategy, and it ensures that you're going to attain the goal that you have set because you can calculate it and you would be able to think it out. So, Nico, next, please. So as you can see on our screen, okay, so we have two kinds of goals there. The first is I am going to apply and get hired. Wow, that's a nice goal, right? Because who doesn't want to get hired? But if you would be applying smart with that kind of goal, you should be more specific. It should be measurable. It should be attainable. It should be realistic and time bound. So how do we do that? Is by saying, I will send my resume to 10 companies on Job Street this week. So if once you give specifics to your goal, you know that, oh, what will I send? So it means I need to prepare my resume. And if it would be for 10 companies, it means I have, so if we're doing it virtually, so it means I need to send it to 10 companies within this week. And where do I post it? I need to post it on Job Street. So it means I have to prepare everything within the week. So at the end of the week, I would be able to already send my resumes but to 10 companies. And because of that, you would be expecting by the following week that you might be getting already calls from the different companies. So that way, you would have more direction and you would also uh, be successful in finishing your goal. Okay, next, please. Now, how do you set your SMART goals? Okay, so when you create SMART goals, you will be able to identify specific to dos in order to achieve your goals. So these would be your backlogs. So, what are backlogs? So, these are the list of tasks that you need to prioritize. Next, please. All right. So how do you prioritize? I know you guys as students, you are bombarded with a lot of projects, a lot of activities, with your different subjects. Now, I think this would be really beneficial for you. So now I'll be teaching you how to prioritize your tasks. So the next step at effectively managing your time is to organize your priorities according to their importance and urgency. So by knowing the distinction between your important, click on next, please. All right. So by knowing the distinction between your important, next, less important, next, urgent, next, and less urgent tasks, you will know which ones you should do first, can be scheduled later, or sort out those you can delegate or should not be bothered at all. So let's go first to the first box, which is do first. Next. All right. So for the do first box, these are tasks that are important for your life and career and need to be done today or tomorrow at the latest. So it means these are the tasks which has really urgency. Okay, so you need to determine which are my tasks that I need to finish by today or tomorrow. Then, next box, please. We call the second box as schedule. So its tasks are important but less urgent. You should list tasks that you need to put in your calendar here. That's why with the word schedule, it means that I'm sure you as students, you have a working calendar of all your deliverables, right? Now, if you maintain a calendar, I'm sure you would have like schedules like next week, my thesis, it should be already at 100 at 50% accomplishment, something like that. So if you have a calendar, you could put the task under this box. Okay, next, please. So the third box is delegate. So for the task under this box, they are less important to you than others, but still pretty urgent. You should keep track of delegated tasks either by email, telephone, or within a meeting to check back on the progress of the tasks. So there would be some tasks that you need to delegate because or else you would have too much on your plate that you won't be able to finish everything. So maybe like group projects that you would need to delegate it to some of your teammates or to your members, that these are tasks that needs to be done but not too urgent, but you can still monitor the progress by just like what we mentioned, that you can like you can coordinate it with your team through email, through a phone call maybe, or maybe like huddles. Okay, and then the last box is what we call the don't do. Okay, so for the don't do box, it is there to help you sort out things that you should not be doing at all. So, which means these are the least of the priorities that would, even if you do it or not, it won't really affect your deliverables. It won't affect your success in meeting the goals. Okay, but I hope students that there won't be a lot of tasks that are in the don't do. Okay, because I don't want to be blamed by your teachers that, oh, Miss May, you taught them that they can just dump in the different tasks in the four boxes, and then you end up um, not submitting or not complying with the requirements. All right, so I guess what you need to do is list down all your tasks and then dump it in into the different boxes so you would know how urgent it must be addressed. Okay? Okay, so next please. Now, so after knowing the task that you put in the back boxes, make sure to commit to your task. Set a deadline. Okay, so once your priorities are sorted, it's really essential that you set a deadline for it. Deadlines make clear that we're expected to deliver when, even you can even indicate what time it should be delivered so that you won't end up confused. So when we do this kind of technique, this means that we can take control of our work. Next, please. Now, okay, so another technique is you can also work in increments. So when you say increments, is you work on it part by part. So sometimes we are faced with like goals or tasks that are really big in nature. Okay, like if you would look at it, oh my God, how can I finish it like in 1 week? So to avoid getting overwhelmed, you can work in increments. So, by breaking down a large goal into smaller tasks, you get a clearer overview of the steps or outputs you need to undertake in order to achieve it. Next, please. All right. So, through increments, you are not overwhelmed. Rather, you are able to quickly prioritize and focus on the things that yield more value. The result of your smaller task will allow you to realize your goal quicker. So there is a better sense of accomplishment, and you can make adjustments sooner or later. So one example maybe that we can share, or I guess you could, that is relevant to you guys, is like, for example, your thesis, right? So that would be a really big project because when I was in college, I remember I wasn't able to do it like overnight, right? So it needed planning. So I adapted this kind of technique so that I won't be overwhelmed. So I had to do my own list and then I need to accomplish it part by part. So I would have like a progress report for myself, like, I'm already at 50%. And then when I do this, like, for example, today, I would be at like 55%, so forth and so on, until I reach 100%. And that way, maybe you would be able to also manage your stress because taking on like a big project, it can cause really a lot of stress. So working in increments would also be very helpful. Okay, next. Next, please. Okay, so I guess everybody already heard about multitasking, but there is a big difference when you say it's about performing true multitasking. So let's have an activity. All right, so if you have a pen and paper there on hand, okay, I'll give you a few seconds, maybe grab something to write on. Okay, it's just I'm sorry, I can't see you guys. Okay, so if you already have a paper and pen to write on, so let's try to do this. Nico, please. All right. So on the screen, you saw that there are blocks there with letters. So it spelled out the word multitasking. And for each of the letter, it corresponds to a number. So what I want you to do is on any writing space, write the letters of the word multitasking and then assign one number to each of the letter and then time yourself. How long did it take for you to do it? Okay, so I'll give you uh, a few seconds. One, two, three, go, and then time yourself when you accomplished it. Okay, right. So that's part one. Now for part two, Nico. So as you can see, the sequencing is a bit different. So for part two, what you need to do is you alternately write the letter and the number below. So write letter M, write number one, then so forth and so on until you finish the letters and the numbers. And then if you get a chance to time yourself, please do it. Okay, so I'll give you 10 seconds. Let's see if you would be able to finish it. Okay. Okay, so hopefully you were able to finish it. Now, so what do we realize from this exercise? So switching between tasks may be more effortful and require more focus. Remember, effective multitasking is the ability to masterfully switch attention from one task to another. So if the switching to another task causes you delays than coverage, complete one task before doing another one. Multitasking is usually viewed. It is a positive skill. That's right. Okay, that enables us to do many things at once. When all of your tasks are lined up, you tend to think of it, oh, it's very doable. So what you do is like you try to do a lot of things all of the same time, but sometimes the productivity is affected. So you might even be urged to multitask, but sometimes it ends up that some of the things are not done. Okay, so next, please. And then another one. Okay, thank you. So, what we think is multitasking, it's the ability to concentrate on multiple things at once. But the true multitasking is effective multitasking is the ability to masterfully switch attention from one task to another. So, if, for example, you're doing a project and you tend to multitask because you want to cover everything, if you see that you start off with everything but you don't end with anything. So I think it would be more effective that you focus on one task first, complete it, so that you can go to the next one. All right. So that is what true multitasking is. Okay, next. All right. So to summarize, what we have discussed now are the following. So these are the different techniques. So you have to set first SMART goals. So again, SMART is being specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. Know how now. I guess you know now how to prioritize your tasks. And then make sure that when you prioritize it, you have to commit to your goal. Okay, don't be complacent. No bahala na habit of the Filipinos that when we set a goal, it's only in writing, but in action, you don't do it. You would say the bahala na habit. Oh, I can do it that I can do that tonight. But the goal that you set was for you to finish it at lunchtime. And if you do it at nighttime, it might conflict with another goal that you have set for yourself. So make sure that you stick to your schedule. Next would be work in increments, work in parts, especially if it's a super big goal. So you divide it into different tasks and then just monitor your progress by part. And I'm sure you would be able to attain your goal. And then lastly is the multitasking, um, how multitasking is effective in doing the task. So if you see that you are multitasking and then you end up not able to finish everything, so I think it would be better that multitask by finishing one task after another. So you end a task first before you go to the next. That way you don't have to worry anymore about the first step of the task that you did. Right? So that summarizes the techniques. But in addition to that, we still want to share something with you guys. I'm not sure if you are familiar with this. Next, please. Okay, so for our last slide, it's what we call the Kanban board. A Kanban board is one of the tools you can use to manage work at a personal or organizational level. So it means it doesn't need to be like a company who can do this. So in your own way, you can you can apply this. So as a student, or maybe if you want to share it with maybe with your family members, or if you're running a small business, you can use this. The Kanban boards visually depict work at various stages of process using cards to represent tasks and columns to represent each stage of the process. So usually you have 3 to 5 columns labeled as the status of each task. So as you can see, we have on screen to do's, the first column, doing, done, and need help. So initially, if you would be listing the task that you need to do, I'm sure that you would have a lot of those post-its, whether it's an online post-it or it might be the real post-it. There would be a lot under the to-do column. But if you will be applying the techniques that we have discussed earlier, I'm sure that some of the post-its would be transferred to doing and even done. And in that way, it would be more fulfilling on your part to see that more of the post-its would be landing on the done column. Okay. Now, so sometimes there would be some tasks that we cannot do alone. And because of that, we might also put some post-its on the need help so that we would know like who we need to reach out to for the help that we need. Okay. Now, so those are the tips, strategies that I can share with you this afternoon on how to manage your time effectively. So, next, please, Nico. So, I hope that everybody learned a lot of things with what I shared. So, now we're prepared, Sir Ron, for any questions that they might have. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you so much again, Miss May, for such an informative talk. And I'm sure our students here are refreshed and also reminded of some of the techniques or the things that they need to work on in terms of how to plan ahead with their time and to also reevaluate how if they are really effectively managing their time. No, so Miss May, maybe because I mean, before we go to some of the question, I'm sure our students now, our audience, no, starting now to type in their questions. No, we are inviting again everyone to join us in our discussion. No? In terms of time management, Miss May, sometimes we tend to forget that we still also need to have some rest or to take a pause. How would you say that sometimes you need more rest, or you had a lot of rest, or you still need more rest? What would be some of the way to help you with that? No, I mean, sometimes you feel like you've been resting a lot, or maybe you still need more rest, based on your
Mhm.
experience in the workplace, for example, Miss May.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's a good question, Ron. Okay, so not because we're working from home that it's It's nice, right?
Mhm.
So sometimes a disadvantage of working from home is we tend to like to overwork because we tend to like go because we're in the comfort of our homes that we just keep on working and then we forget, oh, it's already 1 o'clock. I haven't taken my lunch, right? So I will be sharing my personal way I handle my schedule because when the pandemic started, and I haven't got a schedule yet of how to do my job. I was really so overwhelmed, and it was taking a toll on my health.
Mhm.
Why? Because I was already feeling because I'm diabetic, so sometimes if I don't get to eat on time, with the lunch break being followed, dinner time, I tend to get dizzy. So I said, oh no, I should be setting really a schedule. So what I do is every day I have this whiteboard beside me,
Mhm.
and because I'm a visual person, old school, that I have to really write it down. So it's like a schedule when we were still in school. That okay, so from the time I log in at 10 a.m., so I would work for 2 hours. After 2 hours, I would have a 15-minute break for my coffee, and then 15 hours. After that, I do another 2 hour work, and then that would be my lunch break after that. And during my lunch break, I call it my holy hour because I really don't entertain any calls, or even I don't answer emails for 1 hour because that is my me time for myself. So I eat, I try to like, if not watch TV, or maybe just listen to music just to relax. And then after an hour break, that's the time I would go back to work. So at least I was able uh, um, to I should say uh, pep myself that I was able to relax for 1 hour, and I'm ready to work for the rest of the shift. Okay,
Okay.
so that's how I manage my time now.
Thank you, Miss May. I think the reason why I asked that question is related to one of the questions here. One of
Hmm.
the students here is asking about the Pomodoro technique, which basically is a time management strategy. Wherein 25 minutes, your task will be chunked into 25 minutes and then a 5 minute interval break. So the essence of
Hmm.
that is we really need, no, Miss May, ng rest talaga, no. I mean, we really need to make
Yes.
sure that we recover, no, so that we will be more productive. And of course, we know
Oo.
the extent, no, of our task for or boundaries for a particular time period, no, a day, for example. Another question
Mm-hmm.
dito, Miss May, about your talk earlier, no, you mentioned about the don't do task. The
Mm-mm.
question is, how can you differentiate the don't do task to other tasks? Is it by importance po or by deadlines?
Okay, so looking, if I would be relating maybe to the students dun sa don't do task. So siguro an example that I could think of, if it's not really essential in your studies, like uh for example, okay, you need like to manage your, like for example, I'm sure even if it's something, if you're studying virtually, like maybe you have your notebook. So if as part of your task is, for example, if like cover your notebook or organize your books, that is something which is your least priority. That I think the way to look at it, na even if you don't do it, it won't conflict with your deliverables. So, but it's still part of your task as a student. So I think that's how I look at it.
So I think it's really more on the importance as well, no, in a way, no. I think
Mm-mm.
you can really manage that, no, if you find the importance of a task, no, regardless of its deadline or the time given to you. You really need to really accomplish it, even if you say that it's not yet the deadline or there's no urgency for you to finish it. No. Okay. Thank you,
Yes,
Miss
that's
May.
right.
Do you think po that doing tasks at midnight is effective? I think that personally it is for me, but is it advisable? So it's like asking for advice, no, about the preference, no, yung minsan
Yeah, the
mas perky
time.
ka sa ano no, sa gabi, no, instead of yung mga hindi morning person dito, Miss May.
Mm-mm. Yeah, you know what? I can relate to that. Kasi, I guess lalo mga students natin, since I work in the BPO industry, so we are used to like working late at night. Ayan na, gising na yung aso ko, sorry ah. Uh, so we're used to working late at night. Since our schedule is so flexible, so um, so if, for example, I work 1 to 10, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then sometimes kasi, di ba, hyper pa tayo, Sir Ron, na because of the workload that we had for the day. So yung downtime natin, medyo hyper pa yung ating hormones. So sometimes we tend like to extend. So I think whatever works for you guys, as long as it doesn't affect your health and it doesn't affect your productivity for the next day. Kasi if you think that by working until midnight, pero if the following day naman you have a class and you would end up being a sleepyhead or you won't be able to concentrate on the lessons, I guess you need to siguro adjust your schedule so that you would have an 8 hour sleep, which is still very essential. So
You must
yun,
be
I guess
really
that's
aware, of your entire schedule for the week. Like, yeah,
mm-mm.
if you feel like you can do it on a midnight, like for example, especially malapit na yung deadline, you can do it, but make sure that the next day will not be compromised, your activities for the next day. So
Yes.
I think we should be really aware of that, and that we should be really mindful of that. No? This one
Mm-hmm.
question po is from Mark Rafael Flores. I think this is about multitasking when he asked here, how to handle
Mm-hmm.
stress and pressure. Kasi Miss May, when you multitask, most likely you'll be overwhelmed with the workload. But I think we can expound more on the concept of multitasking further rather than just making like what we normally see about multitasking is like doing three things, or multiple things, at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's really more than that. It's really about the pressure, maybe, or the physical or mental stress. So, what your thoughts, Miss May?
Yes. Okay, Mark, you know what? What I always say when I was still in training, what I always share with my trainees is that stress is something that is manageable. Okay, we don't use it as a reason for not delivering our task. Because stress is always a choice. Because if you would do things correctly, lesser on stress. And how do we do that? So with the techniques that we discussed earlier, so like for example, kayo, may mga thesis kayo, and doing a thesis, it's not really that easy, okay? Now, pero if the key word I think is really planning ahead of time. I think what we can share siguro like kami when we have projects, we have initiatives with FEU. Kung alam nyo lang, even if it's like 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks forward, or after a month pa yung initiative, nagmi-meeting na kami nila Sir Ron, nila Ma'am Babes, 1 month before that. Kasi we would be doing our own tasks, like little by little, para pagdating ng event, it would be very successful. So to answer your question, y- believe it or not, if you won't be stressed, you won't feel pressured. That's my mantra kasi because like tayo we have our own deliverables, 'di ba, Sir Ron?
Mhm.
Pero pag sinabi sa akin na for example, oh May, you have to come up with a project para makakuha ka ng applicants na 200. So if I would look at that goal, saan naman ako kukuha ng 200 applicants for the job openings? So what I do, ayan na, nagpa-plan na ako. I talk to my partners o meron kaming opening na ganyan. So little by little, if yung mga like 10 partners ko would be able to supply me with maski tig sa 10, tig-20 lang na leads, pag pinagsama-sama mo yon, I would be able to fulfill my goal.
Mhm.
Right?
Correct.
So I guess the one thing I can share is if you're faced with a very big goal, apply yung increments method. Do it part
Mhm.
by part para hindi kayo ma-overwhelm. So
Yeah,
that's my thought on it.
that's a good way to apply, your the way you mentioned about working in increments, no, and I'm sure
Mm-mm.
our students here would realize that as well, no, now that we have already started, no, our semester, and papunta na tayo sa midterms week, and the tasks will be piling up, no, and of course we have to understand that sometimes the pressure can be seen also in a positive way, to really challenge yourself in a way, you know, on how to manage your time. So the pressure is the idea that you are thinking about it, and we really need to not to lose the focus and really find time, no, to dedicate, no, scheduling, no, like what Mom May, no, really reiterated earlier or articulated in her
Mm-mm.
talk. This one, Miss May, is from Jenny Escobio. Hello, Miss. Playing mobile games per se is, or for at least an hour, a coping mechanism to release stress is healthy or desirable for us to continue working on our stuff. Is it okay to include this in managing our time? In the workplace po ba, for example, Miss May, no, do you give time for your employees, no, to really, you know, spend time playing mobile games? So that could also be seen, no, yung continuation from school to the workplace, no, that kind of
Uh-huh.
practice, no, or that kind of interest, diba? So
Uh-uh.
how would you say that it's enough, or is it something that we must really need to pay attention to? Yes, Miss May.
Okay, that's a very good question, and that's very relevant. So before pandemic, when we were reporting in the office, kasi in Sitel, we have our game room. Kasi yun daw ang pang-distress ng mga millennials. Okay? So we had to adjust to it. So, well, separate, kanya-kanya kaming break, uh, break skeds. And then, so whenever I see them, like even si Ray, the one who did the PowerPoint presentation, he's a gamer. So during breaks, I would see him. He would go to the pantry, and then
Mm-hmm.
he would be playing games using his cell phone. Pero what I observed is that he would set an alarm. Para once the alarm sets off, it means he has to go back to work. And uh, with due diligence, whatever part of the game he is, he would stop and go back to work. So I think if that's your way of distressing, it it coincides with being disciplined. Kasi may nakikita naman ako na parang 2 hours na yata 'to naglalaro dito sa pantry but hindi pa siya bumabalik sa workplace. And that
Mm-hmm.
way, that your work could be compromised. So, I think it's more of self-discipline. Kasi whatever your way of distressing is, it's a matter of really staying through the schedule. Kasi minsan naman yung iba, like, their distressing is to eat in the pantry. Ngayon, pag
Mm-hmm.
napakwento na with co-employees, I would hear, uy, naku, overbreak na tayo, let's go back na. So, be mindful and just have self-discipline.
Yeah, the key word, no, or the key phrase is self-discipline. Make sure that
Mm-mm.
you try to balance it as well, no. I mean, we understand and we support, no, that mobile games or, you know, dedicating time will help us distress, no, and manage time
Yeah.
as well, no, and of course help us cope with our emotional burden, for example, or, you know, help us to regain our and refresh rather, no, and to
Yes.
refocus again. We have a lot of questions here, Miss May, but some of the questions here, no, most of this have been discussed uh,
Mm-mm.
in your talk and in the way that we have been discussing some of the questions. But I think this question is interesting as well. Uh, Sabi niya rito, no, is procrastination po ba lean more on time management problem or emotional management problem? And a similar question to this is asking, like, what are your thoughts about cramming, but still you are able to finish the work on time, di ba? Ayan. So, your thoughts, Miss
Uh-huh.
May?
Okay. Okay, those are two different things. Good, magandang question yan. So when you say procrastinating, di ba, that is like putting off your task. So for
Yeah.
example, like for example at 2 p.m., sabi mo sa schedule, it says in your schedule that you will be studying for this subject. Pero nag-procrastinate ka. Kasi you're thinking of, ay, total, mamaya marami pa akong oras. Siguro I'll do it later na lang. Okay. So, you know what? Well, personally, it's more of uh, what you believe in. Kasi ako kasi, I learned it from my experience na procrastination really doesn't help me. Kasi why? Because it makes me feel stressed, it makes me feel pressured na naku dapat pala I regret it na dapat pala ginawa ko. Di sana I would have spent my the time towards the evening with my family rather than doing like my homework. Okay? So sometimes it's really very tempting. I'll be very honest. Sometimes it's very tempting na pag bigla ka niyaya, like for example, in the virtual setup that we have right now, di ba? Minsan, there you are a student studying, pero it's an offline activity, and then suddenly your sister says, come on, let's go to Starbucks, let's have some coffee first. Pero alam mo, dapat sa schedule mo, nag-aaral ka. So, you would say, o sige, pagbalik ko na lang. Ngayon, and what if pagbalik mo, there would be a more urgent thing that needs to be addressed. So, that leads us now to cramming. Ngayon, when you say cramming, ito yung natataranta ka na, pero I've heard a lot of students also justify it na the more that they cram, the more that they are effective to deliver, right?
Correct.
Pero in some way, the quality of the work is somehow ano rin affected. Kasi if you could have stuck to your schedule, you could have devoted a lot of time thinking about that project in that window sa schedule mo rather than cramming. Sometimes pag nag-cram ka, the quality of the output is really compromised. Parang, sige, pwede na to, bahala na, basta makasubmit tayo. So, those are my thoughts on that. So, I learned it the hard way. So
Mm-hmm.
ngayon that I am working and even with the virtual setup, I try my best not to put off things if it needs to be attended to and not to cram. Para at the end, um, if at 7 I end my shift, at least 7 onwards I can relax. I don't feel guilty. I don't regret na ay hindi ko pa pala nagagawa to. So, yun. So, mas
Yeah.
may peace of mind ka at the end of the
because
day.
because Miss May, I think they're looking at it from the perspective of a student. Sometimes when they cram,
Mm-mm.
they can still work and submit the work, no, and in some of them could still get good grades, no. But in the workplace, kasi it's a whole different scenario when you procrastinate and you cram, no, with your task, no. So I mean,
Oo.
it's like when you look at it, no, in the perspective of a student, you're only working for yourself, but in the workplace you're dealing with different departments, no, and of course your task
Mm-mm.
might be a prerequisite for another task for other departments. So I think we have to understand that maybe it might work right now, but when you go to the
Mm-hmm.
workplace, you might want to reconsider and look at how you have been doing things back in college. So I think it's always a balance, no. I like not to
Yeah.
really be complacent na nakakaligtas tayo lagi sa cramming, right, Miss May?
Yeah. Kasi pag nag-cram ka rin in relation to our students, you are, imbis na natutulog ka na, you are sacrificing your sleeping time. Kasi
Correct.
nagka-cram ka, di ba? Like, if it needs to be submitted at 8 a.m., pero since umalis ka nung hapon, hindi mo natapos, uh, siguro ang sinasabi nila is it's more effective for the it's
It's
more
okay.
effective for them kasi parang nandun yung adrenaline nila to finish it. Na-excite sila na they are able to deliver. Pero maybe what they're not realizing is imbis na yung oras na yon that they are supposedly like sleeping,
Mm-mm.
mag-rejuvenate na and everything,
Mm-mm.
nagagamit pa nila to do their homework, to do their projects. Tapos kinabukasan, puyat sila. So yun, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, so parang the time as a concept is also a form of investment, di ba? That you need
Oo.
to save and also at the same time manage effectively like what we are trying to say, no.
Mhm.
Miss May, we are down to our last few questions, I think last two, but this question from Leona Flor Isulan, no, would summarize some of the questions also posted here, no, by some of our students.
Mhm.
Hi, Miss May. I would like to ask for advice. How do you think we should settle our break times that could highly help us lessen our stress or the tendency of experiencing over fatigue, given that aside from being a
Mhm.
student, some of us are currently having internship and also we have to do some household chores at the same time. So parang how do we really manage effectively, the given time rest period? How can we really maximize that, Miss May?
Okay. Okay, so alam nyo, yung rest period, I think I can relate to that kasi the way we are handling interns now. So minsan magsasabi sila na can we take this time off kasi we need to do this and that. So kasi nga virtual na lahat ngayon. So I think you have also to share it with your household yung schedule nyo. Kasi sometimes we would get uh, challenges like that, sasabihin ng intern, "Ma'am, pwede bang break muna ako 15 minutes kasi pinaghuhugas ako ng plato ng nanay ko." So, pero siguro nakakalimutan ng mother na the internship is part of their studies. So siguro or minsan meron pa kaming biglang nawala, we ask the student to do something and then biglang nawala sa GC sa group chat kasi meron kami fina-follow up na task. Yung pala nagpasama yung nanay kasi nag-grocery sila. So uh, siguro ha, the way I'm looking at it, we should also uh, make our household aware na you are like rendering like parang you are in school. So ngayon, you can tell, so siguro, kasi dapat meron rin kayong breaks, di ba? Pag recess, lalabas kayo, kakain, and then after 15 minutes, balik na ulit sa classroom. So the way to maximize, going back to your question, the way to maximize your break time is to do something you enjoy and that could take your stress off or would help you ease, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Yung stress mo. So if for example, ako nga like a cup of coffee would do or I would just eat like a snack,
Mm-hmm.
okay na sa akin yun. Or sometimes, since I'm working from home, sinishare ko nga even to sa boss ko na if I'm really so stressed, so I use my breaks, I'll go outside the garden, water my plants for like 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
tapos makaamoy lang ako ng fresh air, I'm good, I go back to my seat. Yung ganun. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, it's, ano so how to manage it effectively, it's how or it's the kind of activity that you do during the break time. Na para pagbalik mo sa upuan mo, pagbalik mo when you go back to your classes, parang you feel rejuvenated, you feel ano na naman, perky-perky ka naman and excited to attend the next class. Pero if like paghuhugasin ka ng plato, ano no, siguro yun ang something na you can talk you have to talk it out with your parents or something na may mga nagbibigay ng ganung task.
Yeah, thank you so much, Miss May. I think the valuable part there it is when you do rest, no. You might want to get some time
Mm-mm.
off the computer or the gadget, no. I mean, we've
Yes.
been experiencing a lot of MS Teams, Zoom fatigue. So when you have your quality time with your rest, make sure that you try to distress, no. Kasi yung iba pag nagka-break, nasa online din, no. I mean, you really
Yeah.
need you really need to connect again to people, no, if there's possibility for you to have with following still health protocols, no, when you want to go
Mm-hmm.
outside, maybe see, some parts of the community, like if there is a communal park or whatever, no, or you can do some
Mm-hmm.
daily exercise. I think that will help you realize, no, that you are
Yeah.
valuing more of your time, no, and you are being effective with managing it. Okay, so I think, Miss May, no, we have a lot of questions, but alam nyo, Miss May, this is a very engaging afternoon. Ang mga questions karamihan ng mga students is about how they can really say, no, I mean, that they have been effectively managing their time and all. I think later we can summarize that, no. But yeah, in the interest of time, Miss May, we would like to thank you again for this very interesting, insightful, and informative talk this afternoon. And maybe, these questions we'll be sending this to Miss May, and if it's possible for her to answer offline or after the event, then we
Sure.
are so glad, no, Miss May, that you're connecting with our FE students, no, through these questions. So we learned today a lot of things, no, but because of the interest of time, no, we'd like to really move forward now with the next part of the program. It really helped us understand that importance of time management is a kind of self-discipline that should start in the university life, and that will be brought to your career, when you go to the world of work or whatever career that you might take. And it
Mm-hmm.
really is about importance of preserving yourself, understanding your goal, and making sure that you are also on top of it, and making sure that you have this particular focus when you try to meet those goals, and making sure that you accomplish all the tasks given to you. All right. So thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much. There you have it. Before we officially conclude our pep talk today, we would like to present first the certificate of appreciation to our speaker. Let me read the text. Far Eastern University Career and Placement Office certificate of appreciation is awarded to Miss Eliane Therese Lansigan for her valuable contribution as speaker during the Pre-Employment Preparation Talk webinar series titled TAMStamp, Time Management as an Essential Skill for Career Success, given this 10th day of February 2022 at Far Eastern University, signed by Maria Carmencita Suba Alfonso, the Director of FEU Career and Placement Office, and Generoso Pamitan Jr., PhD, Assistant Vice President for Academic Services. Ms. May, before we end the webinar, are there any parting words, final pieces of advice, or anything that you would like to share as part of the closing, no, to our audience, to our students who are really trying their best to manage their time?
Okay, thank you, Sir Ron. So, okay, before I do my parting words, I'd like to thank FEU again for having me as a guest today. So I would never say no to FEU because you know what, this is part of my distressing. It would believe it or not that. In between my workloads for today, I really look forward this to these kinds of activities. So maybe as some parting words, just in a nutshell. So managing your time is really very essential. Okay, so it might sound very simple, but it can really make a big impact, especially for you students. Okay, because I know you're juggling your work, your studies, and what your situation at home. So I think what I can share is make sure that the way that you manage your time, there should be a work life balance. Okay, so that because if your study habits and your extracurricular activities are balanced, I guess that would lessen the stress. It's because you would be able to enjoy both sides of the world, as they say. So, your studies and at the same time indulging in your extracurricular activities as part of your distressing time for yourself. So, I wish everybody good luck in whatever endeavor that you would be setting forward to. So, if you would be just managing your time well, I'm sure you would be able to meet your goals effectively. Okay, that's it.
Thank you so much, Ms. May. Those are valuable advice, and I'm sure our students here would really understand the need, the urgency for them to develop, further their time management skills, because this would be
Mm-hmm.
part of their career success, or whenever they now start with their journey, in the world of work.
Yes.
At this juncture,
Mm-hmm.
we would like to thank again Ms. May for gracing this event with her valuable knowledge and experience. To all our students in attendance, so please do not forget to answer the online student activity evaluation form, and we will provide you with your e-certificate of attendance in our pep talk. Again, we will see you in our next episode of this pre-employment preparation talk. For updates, please regularly visit the Career and Placement Office official Facebook page. On behalf of the FEU CAPO, we would like to thank our digital media partner, the Marketing and Communication Office, for making this live webinar possible. Many thanks to our dear students, faculty members, employees for joining us. We hope that you also learned a lot from today's pep talk. As we end, may we invite everyone to join us in singing the FEU hymn. This is again your MC Ron Gascon. Keep safe, everyone. Be brave. Tamaraos.